Well, I work in GE curriculum, writing general English books for the ALC. Yeah, so we make we cover all the different aspects of English, really. Well, the needs are very important, of course. A needs analysis is really good. We try to think about what the students need, think about what all the other stakeholders need, what the teachers need. We try to take all of those needs and make sure that we're covering all of those. So since it's general English, we try to prioritize certain things. We're covering everything, of course. It's general English, so we try to hit all the skills, grammar, vocabulary, and give kind of a global sense of what the students need to know. But we do try to prioritize. Our students are going to need to pass the ECL, for example. And we know the ECL is very focused on grammar and vocabulary, so we try to give them enough grammar and vocabulary to be able to do well on the ECL, to be able to do well on their book quizzes, and also to be able to do well once they move on to follow-on training later.
I work at DLI. We call it Specialized English, but most people know Specialized English as English for Specific Purposes, ESP. And generally speaking, we find a few things that are really important, not just for the project we're working on now, but for pretty much all the projects I've ever worked on as far as the technical training. And one is that the language functions. In language functions, I'm referring to students are going to need to know, for example, how to interrupt the right way, the polite way, what to say, how to ask the teacher for clarification, basically all kinds of things that we have to use to interact with others. Another really important thing in the semi-technical is the fact that there's a lot of people might think, well, technical vocabulary is really important. Of course it is in their field, but they're going to be taught that, and they're going to read about the technical vocabulary, and a lot of Americans they're there with aren't going to know those words either. In fact, a lot of times our internationals will have several years of experience and they'll already know the words in their languages, whereas some of the Americans will be maybe novices and don't know. So we find that semi-technical vocabulary is what's really important for internationals, because the teachers aren't going to stop the class to explain what a semi-technical vocabulary is, or what a particular meaning is. Also, asking questions. Some of our students, well, for one thing, asking questions in English is not easy because we have this sort of funky structure, I think, compared to other languages. And so the wording is a little different. But a lot of times, I mean, everywhere I've gone to at FOT, they mention, well, students need to learn how to ask questions. Some students in their educational cultures just are used to the teacher being, as I mentioned, the font of all knowledge, and they're not encouraged to ask questions. Whereas in the U.S., and especially follow-on training, you definitely are. But definitely asking questions, language functions, semi-technical vocabulary, and asking questions are all, I find, really are all essential anywhere students go to, anywhere they train.
I work for Advanced English, where half of the students are foreign language professionals and the other half can be anything militarily speaking. They range in English language proficiency from low, intermediate to very advanced. And our instructors in AE are usually very experienced instructors, so we take that into account when we're writing the material. We always use authentic text as much as possible, and we develop activities that develop skills about using that authentic content, because we need the students to develop their area of expertise in English, the knowledge in the field. And we use performance evaluations almost all the time because we want to test for skills, but we also want to test for content mastery. We align our materials and our PEs with ILR, and we use our own skills rubrics. Now, our students are from ILR 2 to ILR 3, And our content is from ILR 2 to ILR 3. So for those students who are encountering ILR 3 material, we have to scaffold the material so that it's accessible to them. But we also have to extend material so those that are at 3 level aren't bored by material at 2 level. So that's our challenge in AE.